Hello and welcome to the second video of the FIFA 22 guessing the ratings for Sheffield United this season. So today's going to be the midfielders and the strikers, and the last one was the goalkeepers and the defenders. So you can go and have a look at that if you haven't seen it yet. So we'll get straight into them then, and the first one I'm going to do is Ollie Norwood, who last year was a 77. I'm going to keep looking over there, and I keep looking over there because my computer is just here right next to me, and I've written down the ratings so I'll remember them. He was a 77 last season, and that's obviously following a good first season in the Premier League. So he's going to come down some because he wasn't amazing last season. I don't think he's as bad as what everybody else makes out he is, but certainly he hasn't been as good as what he was. So I've got him coming down to a 74. I think a 74 is reasonably fair, I don't think he's been that bad. His set pieces have been pretty poor. I'll give fans that out there who really are hating him at the moment. But I think there's parts of his game which have been okay. I think he's still receiving the ball. I don't think he's actually losing the ball that much. People seem to forget that even the season we got promoted, where everyone was raving about Norwood, he was still had quite a lot of poor games that season. You know, he's not perfect all the time. Then we'll go with John Fleck, who of course plays next to him majority of the time, and in our new system obviously seems to be what he will be playing next to him in a 2 maybe, although Horan came in and played the last game with Fleck. And last season he was a 77 as well. Again, another one who's probably going to drop down a bit because his form's not been good, although over the last couple of games, I say this just after the whole game away, his form has certainly picked up a bit. And he looked good. He looked good against Peterborough. I thought he played alright against Preston in midweek, and then played pretty well against Hull as well. So his form seems to be coming back a bit. So I still think he'll drop. Depends how much he'll drop. So I've got him dropping to a 74 as well as Norwood. I think a 74 again is reasonably fair. I think was he lower than a 74 in the season we went up, so he's still, you know, going to be higher than the season we went up. Obviously the first season he was brilliant in the Premier League, but I still think Fleck, even the season we went up, wasn't that good. He didn't score a goal the season we went up. People seem to forget that. So, you know, he wasn't amazing at that period. He had an average season the season we went up. I think he had a really good season later on in the season when we went up from League One. The beginning of the season we came up to the Championship, and then the first season after we went up in the Premier League he had a spell. And then obviously he's had ups and downs, but you know, he's never bad, he's just quiet, and I think that's, you know, some people get frustrated when he's quiet, but I think he's quite a shy lad and he needs to be picked up sometimes. Then we'll go with Berger, who was a 79 last season, and a 79 is obviously really high. I mean, was it his highest player? I think it was. Obviously we brought him in January of our first season in the Premier League for big money, and he's been reasonably quiet, although you can certainly see he's got quality. You know, his strength at holding people off, I don't think I've seen anyone better at doing that, certainly for us and maybe even against us. He's so good at holding players off, but little aspects of his game, his passing, I don't think, you know, I can't see him playing a holding midfield position certainly at the moment, because you've got to be able to spray the passes around, and no matter what people say about Norwood can do that. I can't see Berger doing that because his passing doesn't seem quick enough, and running with the ball is so good, you know. Obviously he scored a goal against Preston coming off the bench as well, and then pulled out injured in the warm-up in the whole game. But I still think because of him being linked to clubs in the Premier League, getting linked with Arsenal and, you know, big money moves, I don't think he'll drop a lot if he does. And because he was injured a lot last season, he didn't really play, I think there's another reason why he probably won't drop too much, because when players are injured, although they often drop, they don't drop a lot. So I've got him staying as a 79, although he could drop just a little bit to a 78, but I've got him as a 79 as my estimate. Then we've got a new signing, GibbsWhite, who was a CDM in FIFA 20, I believe was the last time he was in it, when he played for Nottingham Forest. He was a 70 rated CDM, and I think, although we haven't seen much of him, he came on against Hull and he looked alright. Looked like he could crunch and tackle. One crazy shot, but you know, we'll allow it. If it went in, everyone would be saying how amazing it was. And I thought he looked alright, quite neat and tidy on the ball, and you know, really got stuck in with a few tackles. But I still think he'll drop massively because he hasn't played in the English divisions for the last season, season or 2 seasons, or however long it's been. So I think he'll drop. It depends how far he'll drop. So I've got him dropping all the way to a 66. Maybe that's a bit far, but that's what I've gone for. Is it fair? Well, from what I've seen of him in 1 game, no. But, you know, who knows? He might be terrible the rest of the season or not get in. And he's going to be a reserve player, I think, for us. I don't think he's going to be playing every game. But, yeah, 66, that's my estimate. Then we've got another new player, lone player, Conor Horan, who was a 75 for Swansea on loan from Villa, and now we've got him on loan from Villa. He may stay around the 75 because I think he did alright at Swansea, but I've got him dropping 2 to 73, which I think, you know, first couple of games he came on in against Peterborough, he was quiet. Then I didn't think he played particularly well when he came on against Preston. But then he got 2 assists at the weekend from corners, so that's obviously his strength, is his set pieces, and Norwood's set pieces have been poor lately, so we need someone to take set pieces, and especially to allow people like Egan to score goals, and you know, other centre-halves to get in on goals, and allow some other strikers to get in with some good free kicks. People like McBurnie, hopefully, may be able to get on the score sheet with a few good free kicks. Billy will enjoy it as well. So I've got him dropping to a 73, but if it's based on the whole game, alright, maybe not, but I don't think they watch each individual game. I think the decisions of what their ratings will be are probably already made at this point. Then we've got Ben Osborn, who has been playing like on the left wing for us, but last season he was down as a left wing back, a 74 rated left wing back. And now with Osborn, I've not got him going down. I've got him staying the same as a 74, but moving to be a central midfield player. Because he played as a central midfield player and an attacking midfield player towards the end of last season. So I've got him down as a central midfield player, although he has been playing more as a left winger for us at the minute, and he's been playing very well. I thought he played well against Hull, really well against Peterborough. Obviously he was missing for the Preston game, but 74 I reckon will be fair for Osborn at this stage. You know, he's probably been one of his better players in certainly last season's relegation season, one of the few players who did well, you know, I certainly believe anyway. Now we have a new player, well not a new player, a young player who's come through. I haven't done most of the young players because they're not really playing in the league at the moment. But I've got a young player who is playing in the league, Illiman Izzet, who obviously started the Peterborough game and the Preston game, missed out the whole game, but he did look absolutely tired in the Preston game and the Peterborough game. He's probably just not quite fit enough yet to play first team football, but you know, he'll be getting there, and hopefully later on in the season he'll be doing a lot, you know, playing a lot of games. So I've got him down as a 68. Now that's probably a bit ambitious. A 68, obviously, maybe he's probably better than a 68, but realistically we've got to look at the fact that he's a youth player just coming through. He was what? I think he was in the game sort of last season, but he didn't have an Ultimate Team item. Not that I play Ultimate Team, but it was like it was a 59 or something like that. So if he gets an upgrade from that, it'd be a 64 or a 63 or something like that. So he's probably more realistically going to be a bronze item, like a 63 or a 64. But I've got him down as a 68 because I like to be optimistic, and that's realistically what I think he is. You know, certainly after that first game against Peterborough, that's what he should be rated, somewhere around that area. Then we've got Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White, obviously, he was a central midfield player last season at Swansea. Got a 70 rated item. He got injured at Swansea and ended up going back to Wolves and then doing well at Wolves. We're all quite nervous in case he gets injured or has to go back to Wolves now, because he has been damn awesome in his first few games. But I've got to be honest and say that, is he going to get a much higher rating than he did last season as a 70? Probably not, because he was injured for a majority of it, and then when he went back to Wolves he had a little spell where he sort of got in at Wolves. So I've got him as a 71. Now realistically he's probably, as people have said, our best player. So if you give him that standard, you'd be giving him a 79 or an 80, but no. We're going to give him a 71. I've got him down as a central midfield player as well. He's playing sort of a right wing for us at the minute. But 70, yes, I think that's probably what we'll be looking at. Then we have Luke Freeman, who was at Forest on loan last season, where he didn't really do very much, I don't believe. Got injured a couple of times, never really kept himself in the team, and he's come back and he's played bits and bobs, done quite well in the cup. Played against Preston, thought he could have done a bit better. He missed a big chance, did some good things, and I don't mind him, and I think he's worth keeping hold of and putting in the team at certain times as he fits in that. You know, when you're playing players in behind a striker, I think he fits into that. So he was a 72 last season, and I've got him dropping because he injured, didn't really play much, you know, and that 72 put him as one of their best players when, okay, maybe he wasn't one of their best players overall in the season. So I've got him dropping to a 70, staying as a cam, obviously changing to play for Sheffield United, back off his loan, which I think is fair overall. 70 is a sort of player in career mode where I would play him, even if he's not going to play every game. But I'll be happy with a 70, and I think that's a decent estimate. Now we're going into the strikers. We're going to start with Rhian Brewster, who was a 70 last season after we got him from Liverpool for, what was it, 24 million, something like that. And obviously he hasn't been an awful success, has he, so far, but I still believe that he's getting there. I actually think he played quite well against Hull. I watched the game on TV and I thought he played quite well. I just think we need to sort of get him in a position where he can get a couple of goals, and I really do think he's going to start scoring them. I think when we see him GibbsWhite and the sort of football we're playing now, that's going to suit him a lot better than what we were doing before, when we were just putting balls in, sort of aimless balls in, but not putting enough balls in either where he's going to score. We were sort of playing it round, overplaying in wide positions, and yeah, he had absolutely no chance. So I think this new sort of little tappy football where we're playing nice little touches around the box and one little 1-2, that's probably going to suit him better. I mean, if you look at the goals he scored at Swansea, they're more like the goals he was scoring. So I think if he just gets a couple in the league, then he might get on a bit of a run. You know, if he sort of can get 10, 12 goals this season, that's a good, not a bad return. Especially since he's not playing every game and he's playing out wide, and Billy's going to be playing quite a lot. So yeah, I've got him staying as a 70, despite him not scoring, staying as a 70, which I know is, okay, people are going to say, well, how, he should be dropped, but I think the money talked about with him, the fact that he's young, he's still playing for the under-21s, I think he's probably going to have to stop around a 70 to match other aspects of his game away from us, even though he's been poor for us. So yeah, 70 I think he's probably going to be he might even get an upgrade, weirdly, without actually doing anything. He might even get an upgrade to a 71. But 70, I think, I'm pretty sure about this one, that he's going to be a 70. So there we go. Then we have Ollie Burke, who of course is a 67 last season, and on career mode he's damn playable because he's quick. Again, didn't have a particularly good season, scored a goal against Man United, and it was probably the worst scuff shot I've ever seen, that took a deflection, went in, but we won that game thanks to him. I don't think, again, Burke isn't as bad as what people seem to make out he is. He just doesn't have much end product, does he? He's really quick, but seems to be running that fast that he doesn't know what to do at the end of it. So for that reason, I've got him staying as a 67. Staying as a striker as well, although the fact that he maybe moved into being like a right midfielder or a right winger, because he's playing quite a lot out wide now. But I think 67 probably is about fair for him. And he's going to be another one of them players, again, where we play career mode, and these players who aren't that quick but are really good, like Billy and players like that, are going to be rubbish on FIFA, even though the ratings are good. And when you bring Burke on, he's going to be amazing because he's quick. And his physicality stats are always quite good on the game as well. And then, you know, if you're losing a game, you're going to bring it on Burke, and it's just unrealistic, and I like it to be realistic. So, yeah, Burke, 67, I think that's probably fair. Then we have Ollie McBurnie, another one who didn't do very well last season. I mean, not many did they? And he was a 75, he got an upgrade to a gold item last season, after his first season, which was alright. His first season, he scored a few goals, did fine. I think he was the top scorer at the end of the season, although we didn't score a ton of goals, but McBurnie, you know, ended up being the top scorer for us. But I think he'll drop. You know, I think he had injury issues last season. he still looks underwhelming at times, you have to say, when he's on the pitch. But because he's not particularly quick, he's a bit clumsy, and he's just another one. You know, we need to start creating better chances for him so he can score the sort of chances he wants, rather than just lumping a ball into him and hoping he does something, because I don't think he wants that. So I've got him dropping to a 74, which I think again is probably fair. He may even get lower than that, a 73, but I'm pretty sure he's going to drop from being a gold to a silver. Something might keep him up there though, especially the transfer rumours seem to make a difference. So if you're linked with a bigger club, or a club that's doing a lot better, then they often keep their ratings. So he got linked with Wolves for some reason. I think he probably is a backup striker. I don't think they wants to pay what we paid for him, let's be honest, but yeah, that could keep him up there. Not as a gold, but maybe as a 74. Then we've got David McGoldrick. Now, weirdly, and this is a strange one to everybody watching. I mean, McGoldrick, be honest, played well last season, didn't he? He did really well. Yes, he misses sitters at times, but McGoldrick's always missed sitters. And he scored some damn good goals, and he ended up, you know, scoring. He'd have been his top scorer in the first season, based on how many goals he scored last season. In the first season in the Premier League, no one scored as many as he did last season. So, I've actually got McGoldrick going from a 74, which he was last season, up to a 75, which is amazing. Someone getting an upgrade, which I think is fair on his performances last season. But then if you look at him beginning of this season, he didn't really seem to suit us. So are we going to end up with a player who's highly rated in the side, but then isn't really going to be playing that much? Because I can't see how he fits in when you got GibbsWhite and you got Ndiaye and you got Ben Osborn and you got these players in behind, and you got Sharp up front. You wouldn't swap him out for Sharp. You wouldn't want him to be a central striker, because Sharp's this sort of poacher you need. Then you've got McBurnie and Brewster, who you're trying to get him into a run of form, more like that sort of player. So McGoldrick, when he plays, he's probably going to play in behind a little bit, or play out wide maybe a little bit. But again, is he going to start? Probably not. You know, Luke Freeman's probably going to get in as well in those positions when other players can't. Berger's played in an attacking position, and he was going to start in that attacking position against Hull, but he ended up not doing so because of him getting injured in the warm-up. So McGoldrick might end up playing in that area, but when he comes back, he's certainly an option. And I love watching McGoldrick. He's my favourite player to watch. So I've got him up as a 75. So well done. I'm dead happy with that. Then we've got Lys Mousset, who was a 74 last season. Obviously got injured a lot last season, as he did in the first season, although he went on a good run. Almost was his top scorer, went on a really good run of form where he was scoring virtually every game. And I like Mousset to watch. If we had a fit Mousset all season, I think he'd be scoring a few goals. I really do. But I just constantly feel, I mean, how many games is he going to play before he's injured? Normally it's not even one. He's quick. I think he can be strong. I think he could definitely score goals in this division. Started that first game, I thought he looked bright against Birmingham in the first game, and then got injured and had to come off. So hopefully we can get him in a bit and get him scoring a few. Can't really see how he'd fit in with the new system with the 3 behind the 1 striker, because I don't want him out wide, because he's not particularly skillful enough. He's a striker, he wants to score goals. But bringing him on for Billy at certain times in the game, or if there's a moment when we need to put 2 up front, yeah, we stick him on. So I've got him dropping because he didn't do much last season. Obviously he was injured majority of it. So I've got him dropping to a 72. And hopefully we're gonna see him a lot quicker as well, because he's quicker than an 82 or something. He should be like an 86, 87, 88 or faster. And Burke, you know, they're so quick, these two players. I don't think we've had quicker players, certainly in the time I've been watching, than these two. They're blooming quick. So I'll go for a 72. And we'll end it on Billy Sharp, who was a 73 last season, but you know, he was a 73. Didn't play that many really in the first season, although he scored 3 goals. Was it 2 against Bournemouth, 1 in the first game, 1 in the second game against Bournemouth, and he scored against Norwich. So he scored 3 in the first season. Then last season, I think he scored 3 again, didn't he? A couple of penalties were in there. Scored 1 against West Brom. And obviously this season he started off well. You know, he's playing very well, scoring goals, setting up goals. Fantastic. It looks like he's keeping out Brewster and McBurnie and players like that. So I've actually got him having an upgrade, because I just think if you look at him in the Championship, you know, you pick out a list of the best strikers in the Championship, he'll be on the list. You know, you pick out Mitrovic and you pick out blah blah blah, and you pick out all these list of players or whatever. I said blah 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 because I completely forgot about all the Championship strikers that are out there at the minute. You know, but Sharp's going to be on that list. You know, if you play Sharp every game in the Championship, he'll score minimum 15 goals and you might be scoring 30 if you give him a few chances. So I've got him upgrading, weirdly, despite him not doing amazing last season, to a 74, which I think is fair, you know. And sometimes I think with the older players, you've got to bunk them up a bit, because otherwise they're pointless in a career mode, and I like it to be realistic. So I like the fact that you've got a 35, 36-year-old striker who's going to be playing every game for you. But in a career mode, you're not going to want that to happen, because you're going to put a young player in there, because that young player then is going to finish the season, you know, 5 or 6 ratings higher than they were at the beginning of it, when Billy Sharp will score 30 goals and he'll still drop one. So yeah, I think a 74 would be, for me, a fair rating, and I hope he gets a 74, because I like playing Billy Sharp, even though on FIFA he's always terrible because his stats, you know, he's not tall and he's slow. So yeah, he's not very playable on there, but he can finish well, but you have to get him into the positions to finish, which on FIFA is not very possible. But other than that, yeah, be happy with a 74. So that's it anyway, they're the ratings. I'll try and make a video, as soon as the actual ratings come out, I'll try and make a video where I discuss the ratings and probably say what I thought. I don't know whether I'll have a grid or something and say this is what I thought, this is what they actually are, or whatever. I'll see what happens when the actual ratings come out, and then I'll compare them with what I guessed, and then I'll do another video. So keep around for that one. So we'll say it's almost like a 3-part series of these FIFA 22 guesses. If you like the FIFA 22 Sheffield United content, then tell me. I got a lovely comment from someone last time saying, good video, where's the next one, or when's the next one coming out? Which is lovely. I think the first video got something like, what was it, 70 something, it was 70 something views at the time of making this, so that's pretty good. So yeah, that's it. So if you enjoyed the video, then like and subscribe to the channel, and also check out my Mint Jelly Media website, which is my video company. You can check that out below in the description, and other than that, see you later.